start from small and humble beginning. Since its establishment in 1958, William Henry Smith Memorial School has groomed itself to become the strongest, long-standing school of ICSE in Varanasi. Situated at Sigra, Varanasi, it becomes the education lighthouse for thousands of students who have successfully passed the journey from lower nursery to class 12th.
Cecilia Rose Wells and William Henry Smith, two wonderful people who met here in India in 1950s and decided that they wanted to settle down, and both being teachers after retirement came here to Varanasi and in a thatched roof missionary bungalow opened a small English medium school. Initially they went house to house asking people to send their children, and from the very day one there were three things which were very important. The first was discipline, for which Smith School is known even today and has carried on. The second was spoken English and values. They were both very clear that the Indian value system is the best. Satya, Ahimsa, Prem and Bhaichara, and most of all Daya, mercy, by reaching out to others. These were the values which have always been the main building blocks of Smith School. Along with academics, being good in your subject, it was important to be a very good human being. As the years went by, initially they started up to class 5, later on to class 8, and on the demand of the parents, this became Smith's Junior High School. Blessed be the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Pauline Hope and Mr. P.M. Sodhi were an integral part of this school. Pauline Hope, of course, was the favorite niece of Cecilia Rose and William Henry. And right from the inception of this school in 1958, she was a part of it. Later on, in 1960, Mr. P.M. Sodhi also joined. She was a part of the managing board, and later on when the society formed, she was also its chairman from time to time. Pauline and Mr. P.M. Sodhi were both instrumental in getting the no objection certificate from the UP government. This was necessary because now the school had grown in reputation and parents felt that it was necessary that the children continue up to high school at least and later on intermediate. Once The no objection certificate was given. The Council for ISC examinations was approached and soon were granted the status of an ICSE school, and in 1988 March the first batch of class 10 students went up. Later on, due to their untiring efforts, Mr. and Mrs. P. Sodi were able to also get the school intermediate status. In 1996, they were able to get the affiliation or the permission for opening ISC class 12. Initially, the subjects were only commerce and science, but today the W. H. Smith Memorial School offers its students science, computers, commerce, humanities, music, instrumental and vocal, and also fine arts. In the late 80s, the William Henry Smith Memorial School was the pioneer school in offering computer studies as a subject. It was the first school to do so at the board examination level. And till today, the results of the students in ICSE and ISC in computer studies are 100% with a number of students scoring 100%. In the beginning, when the school was started by teachers, it was very obvious that one of the mission statements, part of the mission statement had to be nurturing minds to create the future. It sounds so simple now, but it took a lot of time before the thoughts formulated and finally became concise into a single small mission statement. This was decided in 1997 and henceforth it became the mission statement of the school. But much before that, onward and upright was the motto which was coined by our founders, Cecilia Rose and William Henry, who were very, very clear that the children would always march onward and upright in honesty, integrity. School, we imbibe the values of onward and upright, and we always help others and encourage others to help others. So we walk the talk, and that is what we encourage everyone. Just do it, and do it.
Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction. It enables one to realize that he did his best and further helps one to become best as per his capacity and potential. Thus, peace is not something you wish for. It's something you make, it's something you do, something you are, and something you give away. With these beautiful motivational lines, we wish a very good evening to our eminent judges, Dr. Yogita Beri, Department of Economics, Vasanta College for Women, Varanasi. Dr. Vibha Joshi, Department of Economics, Vasanta College for Women, Varanasi. And Mr. Vimal Kumar Seth, Senior Faculty of Commerce Department, W.H. Smith Memorial School. We also welcome our respected principal, Dr. Anita Pauline Day, manager, Mr. Pradeep Kumar Day, administrative officer, Mrs. Headmistress, Mrs. Sangeeta Nayak, teachers, and our worthy panelists. Today, we all have gathered here for one of the most important events of Concordia 2022, that is Thought Gym panel discussion for intra-school house competition. As we all know, panel discussions are a useful way to trigger an exchange of viewpoints as they involve on the spot interaction, develop critical thinking, and highlight the multidimensionality of the issues. Panel discussion is being conducted in 3 streams. Sub-junior, which is stream 1 for classes 5 and 6, junior, which is stream 2 for classes 7 and 8, and senior, which is stream 3 for classes 9 to 12. Topics for the live panel discussions are: Stream 1, the climate cost of our eating habits. Stream 2, will the fake news kill the social fiber of India if unchecked? Stream 3, Gen Next, restoring faith in generation progress. Let me acknowledge the presence of our eminent judges of all the streams. Stream 1 for classes 5 and 6, Mr. Vimal Kumar Seth. Stream 2 for classes 7 and 8, Dr. Yogita Bedi. Stream 3 for classes 9 to 12, Dr. Vibha Joshi. Panelists of Stream 1 are requested to introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Aisha Khan of Class 5C. I'm representing Hope House. Good evening, everyone. I'm Aradhya Pandey from Class 6A and I'm representing Wells House. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ashwin Pandey of Class 6C and I'm representing Rose House. Good evening, everyone. I am Swastika Shivi from Class 6C and I'm representing Miles House.
It's time to remind the rules to the panelists of Stream 1. Rule number 1. Each participant will be provided 2 minutes to present their points. Thereafter, 10 minutes will be provided for open discussion. Rule number 2. Participant must refrain from using paper or electronic media. Rule number 3. Medium of discussion will be English. Use of unparliamentary language is prohibited. Once again, I welcome our judges for Stream 1, Mr. Vimal Kumar Seth, Senior Faculty of Commerce Department, W.H. Smith Memorial School. Moderator, Mrs. Shashi Seth, timekeeper, Mrs. Pooja Maurya, tech support team, and our dear panelists. I wish you all the best. Stay calm and give your best.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Aisha Khan of Class 5C and I'm representing Hope House. My topic is climate costs of our eating habit. Food is very important for us. Without food, life is not possible, and climate is an average weather of a given area for a longer period of time. The climate causes a large effect on our eating habits, as any climate-related disturbance to food distribution and transport internationally or domestically may have significant impact not only on safety and quality but also on food access. Higher temperatures reduce yields of desirable crops and encourage weeds and pest proliferation. Warm weather also suppresses our ravenous hunger. Planting of trees that are usually harvested in winter has to be delayed because of delayed winter, marking a drastic shift in food availability because of global warming. Cold climate increases the hunger of the people and makes them to have a good meal. Climate determines the Climate determines the period through which food grows and also affects the planting seasons every year. Thank you.
Well done, panelist one. The panelist two, you are requested to start your speech.
Good evening, everyone. I am Aradhya Pandey from class 6A and I am representing Wells House. I am here to speak on the topic climatic cost of our eating habits. Our eating habits cost effects on climate directly or indirectly. Nowadays, most of the food items are found in plastics or plastic bags. As we all know, plastic is undisposable and on burning release greenhouse powerful and harmful gases such as methane and ethylene that leave a harmful effect on our climate. We human beings should consider food as a process, not as a product. When people often see food at grocery stores, they do not think much about how it got there. But between farms and folks, food must be processed, packaged, transported, and then sold. And between these stages, many of those stages harm our climate. Now, pesticides and microbial drugs leave harmful effect on our climate too because they are used in increasing crops and agriculture yield, but they can cause detrimental effect on human body. Thank you.
Panelist two, now panelist three, start your speech.
Good evening to one and all.
Good evening to one and all. I'm Ashri Pandey of class 6C and I'm here to speak I'm representing Rose House and I'm here to speak on the topic the climate cost of our eating habits. As we all know and can see that there is a huge climatic changes that are happening all around the globe and the lifestyle of the people are getting affected due to this. We can also not deny that in recent few decades, several global temperature has been raised and the climatic changes are likely nowadays, due to which people's lifestyle are increasing with hazards. People are also not aware of how their eating habits are affecting the climate, not just in a particular piece of land, but all around the globe. For instance, let us find the reasons behind this. First, carbon footprint. The foremost priority as a human being towards the nature should be lowering the carbon footprint, which is measured by total greenhouse gas emission, not just by modernization, industrial pollution, but can also be caused by our eating habits like eating fishes, meat, and eggs. They can cause a high impact on the environment. Second, depletion of biodiversity. Biodiversity as a term is made up of two words, bio meaning plants and animals and diversity meaning varieties of species. As the numbers of meat eaters are increasing, the diversity in animals either on land or in water bodies are greatly reduced in the time where scientists have to claim that certain amount of animals which are edible and now are up to the extent of getting extinct. Thank you.
Thank you, panelist three. Now panelist four, it's your turn.
Our climate is changing. Why aren't we? A very good evening to one and all present over here. I am Swastika Shivi from class 6C. I am representing the Miles House and from W. Smith Memorial School, and I am here to speak on the topic, the climate costs of our eating habits. We need changes against climate change to make our earth great again. The food that we eat daily can keep us alive, but they could incur the big health and also the environmental costs. Our food produces more than 25% of all greenhouse gases, the emissions. Over one third of this is happening because of the conversion of wildlands into the grasslands. The grasslands are converting into the farmlands and farms, so that's why these are stored into these release all the stored carbons into the air that is very harmful for the climate. Just imagine if we ate more plants and less meat, then we will be able to store the carbon into the plants and the soil. And also, all the climate change solutions can be better reduced by the for the reservation of climate change, and we could be able to find and lead to the solutions. And also, the climate change can reduce by the recycling of the plastics, as all the people of our country use plastic utensils which are mainly used by the people, and when it's cracking or breaking, people throw that because they do not know its impact. But plastics can be very harmful for the climate, as they take more than 200 years to decompose in the soil. Unless we do not take a change or against the climate change, our future generations will be roasted, toasted, fried, and grilled. So at this moment, we just all need to come together and save our planet. It's our planet. We need to choose a climate-friendly diet. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists.
Now it's time for open forum for all the panelists. You have 10 minutes.
My dear friends, I would like to discuss, should we humans stop eating meat at all for saving our climate? Not necessary, but if they stop, they will not have the correct amount of protein a human needs.
And also, people's diet will extend. Should we use more plastic or less plastic?
Plastics are carryable, but we should use less plastic because it's not disposable and it releases harmful gases that are not good for our climate. Yes, that's true. And these harmful gases are also the ones which are responsible for global warming. Even this year, NOAA's reviews of 2021, the last year which we have gone through, was the sixth warmest year. You know, my mother buys organic milk because we want to do our bit to help the climate. My dear friend, but it hardly matters because organic dairy farms produce almost same amount of greenhouse gases. If we try to be a vegetarian, our carbon footprint will definitely decrease.
What you eat all doesn't matter, but how do you try to carry the food matters, because you should use a cloth bag or a jute bag.
Yes, that's true because jute is a biodegradable waste and we can use jute as it is environment friendly too.
Plastic harms the climate very badly, so we should use and try to use jute bags, and we should reduce the use of plastic bags.
Plastic pollution is increasing in the world because it is not found only in plains, but nowadays it is also being found in the snowflakes of Antarctica.
Yeah, we can also use one-handed plastics, and we can recycle them by doing DIYs and other things from it. And we should not throw it because we all know that it takes a lot of time to dissolve in the soil.
Yes, and India's government also banned the single-use plastics. My friends, how can we recycle one-use plastic instead of throwing it into dustbin?
As I told you right now, we can first make DIYs and etc. And we should not throw them because they cannot dissolve in the soil very fastly. They take more than 1,000 to 2,000 years to dissolve.
Yes. We can make interesting projects of them also.
Yes.
Well done, panelists of Stream 1. Let's give them a big round of applause for them. It's time for the panelists of Stream 2. I would invite all the panelists to introduce themselves.
Good evening. I am Ikshita Singh of Class 7C and I represent Hope House.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Abhijit Srivastav and I represent Wells House.
Good evening, everyone. I am the Tanshu of Class 8B and I am representing Rose House.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I am Diksha Jha of Class 7B and I am representing Miles House.
It's time to remind the rules to the panelists of Stream 2. Rule number 1. Each participant will be provided 2 minutes to present their points. Thereafter, 15 minutes will be provided for open discussion. Rule number 2. Participants must refrain from using paper or electronic media. Rule number 3. Medium of discussion will be English. Use of unparliamentary language is prohibited. I welcome our judge for Street 2, Dr. Yogita Bedi, Department of Economics, Basanta College Women, Varanasi. Moderator, Mrs. Sashi Seth, Timekeeper, Mrs. Pooja Maurya, Tech Support Team, and our dear panelists. I wish all the best to the panelists of Stream 2. It's time for the panelists to start.
Good evening to our dear principal ma'am, the respected teachers, the judges, and my dear friends. I, Ikshita Singh of Class 7C of Hope House, is going to present my views on the topic, Will fake news kill social fiber of India if unchecked? Fake news in India is a rising problem. First of all, let us understand what fake news is. Fake news is a false or misleading information presented as real news. It often has an aim of damaging reputation of a person or entity or is just a money-making scheme. It is also spread to divert the attention of people from a serious matter to a petty issue. The damage caused due to fake news on social media has increased due to the growth of internet penetration in India, which has risen up from 137 million internet users in 2012 to 4.92 billion users in 2022. Fake news also spreads through social media platforms like WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. During the times of COVID-19, many people spread fake news on WhatsApp forwarded messages, which caused a lot of fuss. Many people also died because of the fake news spread by people. Many people in India, especially in rural areas, are illiterate and are incapable of researching opinion on news. This causes a lot of problems. So I just want to say that before sending any news, we should verify it and confirm if it is true or not, because it may seem just words to you, but it may be life-changing to someone else. Thank you.
Now it's time for panelists 2.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Abhijit Srivastav, representing Wells House. Today, I'll be giving my view on the topic, Will fake news kill the social fiber of India if unchecked? Fake news can be compared with an invisible nuclear bomb whose radiation is killing the social fiber of India. Fake news has been with us for a very long time, but social media platforms such as Facebook and WhatsApp have amplified its reach and propagation speed. Fake news also fans the spark of social intolerance among the common people. In Karnataka, a man was assaulted by more than 200 people. The reason why he was assaulted was that a piece of fake news spread in the society that he was a kidnapper. But this was proven that it was false. He was just an innocent man. Fake news is often used for entertainment in the form of memes and trolls. These may seem entertaining, but these have negative effects on the minds of children. Even fake news related to the coronavirus pandemic have affected the people in a very huge way, such as a person spread a piece of fake news that if you have been infected by the virus and are not showing any sort of symptom, you will not be able to spread the virus. But this was proven that it was false.
Even the asymptomatic patients can spread the disease. So, in my opinion, fake news is no less than a pandemic, and we often fall for it without realizing the dangers it holds. Thank you.
Now it's turn for panelist 3.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to represent my views on the topic fake news. Fake news are the false informations which are being represented. Fake news often has the aim of damaging the reputation of a person or entity. Fake news is a rising problem in the today's world. Due to the use of social media platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook to convey false messages is a dangerous trend. Real news is getting buried under the avalanche of false information. It is an intensifying trend. Fake news is also harmful because it is spread by the TV channels, as they seems that by doing this they can increase their TRPs. But it is completely wrong because it harms a lot to the common public because they believe in that fake news and feels that it is the only truth. Many medical treatments and major diseases were shared during the corona period as fake news. Trusting on these fake stories was dangerous for the life of certain patients. Children, due to their evolving capacities, cannot discriminate between the reliable and unreliable information. Hence, they cannot be damaged by the fake news, but also they may share it to their friends. IT giants like Facebook and Google are using high-level language to create algorithms that helps to reduce the fake news from the particular website. WhatsApp is also created that unlimited text cannot be sent on WhatsApp, which helps the people to do not get fake news. Thank you.
Now it's turn for panelist 4.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Diksha Jha from class 7B. I represent group. I would like to speak on the topic of fake news. Fake news is that humor which we believe very easily without any verification. It is mainly spread by the fake messages being sent on the various sites like WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Of intoxicating fake news are it is mainly being used for entertainment purposes, fake images and titles are being used, etc. Thank you.
Now it's time for open forum for all the panelists. You have 15 minutes. All the best.
So, after hearing all the panelists, according to me,
Fake news is like a virus which is spreading throughout the country, and if not stopped, it can cause many problems. Just like I said few moments ago, fake news is a rising problem, definitely a rising problem. So it is a catastrophe. I totally agree with you, panelist one, but there are more than 20 crore users of WhatsApp in India alone. How can we just trace the source of the incoming information and messages? What can be done?
Yes, I totally agree with you. ID giants like Facebook and YouTube has created code that creates algorithms which helps to delete the fake news from the particular websites. WhatsApp also has a limit of messages which you can forward at a particular time. Because if you will send more text, it may include fake messages.
Yes, I agree with you, panelist 3. We should first check and verify that whether the news is true or not. And some of the inappropriate results after the spread of fake news are that people easily believe on these news without any verification and they start hating and blaming each other. We should prevent this by the verification done by social media sites like Google and Opera. I totally agree with you, panelist 4. According to me, the most important thing we should do after receiving a forwarded WhatsApp message is to check if the source is mentioned in the message. If the source is not confirmed or it is not verified, we should not believe it and not share it with anyone else.
Yes, there are also some ways even we can use to stop the spread of fake news. There are 3 laws. We can reduce the number of fake messages being sent, and we can stop the contribution of spreading fake news. We can also contribute to people that we should not spread fake news. It is not just the government who has to do this task, but everyone, including us normal people.
Yes, I agree with you. Nowadays, many people have understood that whatever we share may not always be true. But there are many people who don't have any clue about the fake news. Even the government has taken several measures to propagate the source of information from which the fake news is being passed. But this is not only enough for today's digital world. We should also take some measures to prevent the fake news to spread further.
Yes, I totally agree with you, panelist 4. Panelist 3, nobody in the society take it seriously to ask the question that why the incident happened and how it happened. Everybody just start accusing one another.
I totally agree with you, panelist 4. The most important thing we should do is to verify any content before sharing it. The lack of laws in India's constitution is the big reason why the growth of fake news is increasing. There is no particular law for fake news, which is the main problem in growth of fake news.
WhatsApp has come up with a feature which lets the user know if a message has been forwarded blindly or it has been composed by a user.
Yes, that's the problem of the people of India. Many people never try to search what the reality is. They just find evidence to prove that whatever they have shared is true.
It is always better to check the news on the official social media site to make sure that the whether news is true or not. And students should be aware and be protected by the impacts of these kinds of such news.
So, according to all of us, fake news is definitely a main reason that is definitely killing the social fiber of India. Thank you.
Well done, panelists of Stream 2. Let's give them a big round of applause. Stream 2, you may leave. It's time for panelists of Stream 3 to introduce themselves.
Good evening. My respected greetings to all. This is Shabi Fatima of class 10A and I'm here to speak on certain aspects of next gen restoring faith in generational progress. The new generation of people and entrepreneurs are together.
Greetings to all. This is Kathy Pandey of class 12B and I'm representing Wales. Good evening to one and all. This is Gauri Dhanani of class 12B and I am representing Hopes.
Good evening. I am Pulya Kapoor of class 10A and I am in the house. The new generation of
Time to remind the rules to the panelists of Stream 3. Rule number 1. Each participant will be provided 2 minutes to present their point. Thereafter, 15 minutes will be provided for open discussion. Rule number 2. Participants must refrain from using paper or electronic media. Rule number 3. Medium of discussion will be English. Use of unparliamentary language is prohibited. I welcome our judge.
About team and our dear panelists. I wish you all the best.
Time for the panelists to start.
the new generation of young people and entrepreneurs known as the general restoration are all together putting their time into the planet's health, and the youth-led movement of our generation is also putting a lot of time into also putting a lot of time in the planets to protect the planet and the generation. The government is also economical. The government is also supporting our new generation to raise their topics and. Generation is working really hard to. I'm so sorry. Sorry, can you continue?
Over to you, panelists.
We are living in a generation full of straightforward people and people who are open to think more than the prior generation. But we are not here to discuss we are not here to compare the generations, but to discuss how the working and the thinking has changed in the recent times. And indeed, a lot of change has taken place as recognized by the authors and activists. Talking about generational progress, we need to look into the matter and see that how the generation and the youngsters of today are working into that path. Haven't you heard about all those IITians who quit their jobs and do startups in the most underdeveloped and rural areas? They don't do it just for the sake of profit, but they want to contribute something to the generational progress, and they do it. And they came up with a lot of bright ideas like organic farming or natural conservation. Moreover, when these bright minds met with the modern technology, a lot of new innovations have came up, like the solar banners, turbines, and most recently the electric cars, which are yet in progress. They don't do it solely because to conserve the natural resources like petrol and diesel, but also to reduce the harmful effects that they cause. Talking about perseverance, which is one of the values taught to us in the punch cards of our school, is the guiding factor in the entire world. Take, for instance, Japan, which is a country which has faced futility of war and has overcame the bomb attacks of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, has overcame it immensely just because it realized the value of peace. Thus, one can progress immensely if it walks on the path of peace. Moreover, these young generation people are not only aware about the early problems, but are also taking proper steps and acting towards it. They are forming agendas, policies, and a lot of NGOs and are leading in it. For instance, a World Economic Forum was formed and launched by the
Timer. Now it's time for panelist 3.
It is a no-brainer that the Mother Earth is in pain. However, the question is not about what steps are to be taken, because many steps have already been taken, discussed about, and applied. But the simple question is, how do we, the youth of India, the youth of world, restore the faith for better future for coming generations? The very first thing which our young generation is already doing is spreading the message of awareness to social media, be it activists, eco-friendlies, or even students like us. Concerns of one spreads out and becomes a concern of all. Deforestation is still one of the concerns in the mind of people, but the young generation of today has worked out and sturdy development of developing furniture through rice husk. Eco-friendly flight wheel trays are being put into use, which are plastic-free and easily compostable. The IITians, the Bombay IITians, they have over to you, panelists, for.
We have seen that we have seen several changes are there in we've seen that in the world there are several changes. The people are making them too advanced, like the old generation and the old generation and the we know that the we know that the we know the peoples the old peoples are
Now it's time for open forum for all the panelists. You have 15 minutes.
You have talked about Indian startups. So in India currently, what startups are being used for today's world problems, today's environment?
A lot of startups have came up in India, like for instance, Ola, Uber cabs for transportational services, and Zomato and Swiggy for food services. And there are a lot of, and the IITians today are focusing more on the underdeveloped cities or underdeveloped areas, and they are coming up with more natural, they are focusing to conserve the environment, and they want to do something for the environment. So they are focusing more on the organic farming, as I mentioned, and natural cultivation. Thank you.
So are there any new ways from which we can reduce plastic consumption or by the use of renewable resources?
The renewable resources are being reduced, as I mentioned, that they are introducing electric cars, which will reduce the use of petrol and diesel. But for plastic, there are still strategies being made and plans being implemented. And I'm very sure that the Indian generation would surely do it.
And the government has also taken strict actions for not to use the plastics and to the compulsory the bags were compulsory for the products.
Right. I would like to raise a question, that is, how do you think that the soil conservation is being done by the generation today or the generation next?
As we already know that organic farming is being converted into modern farming nowadays. Through organic farming, the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides is being reduced to a lot,
and this is immensely contributing for the conservation of the environment as a whole, right? That is what you mean?
Yes.
Also, I wanted to mention that the NGOs that are being set up by the young generation, they have set up or launched a World Economic Forum, and it is led by the youngsters, mostly in their 20s, and it has got a lot of support because of the impact of the internet and proper promotion. So this shows that the generation of today wants to is putting the health of the planet first than themselves. And also with the advent of internet, the younger generation is able to showcase their talent and spread more awareness, and is able to speak up for themselves and for others, and which was not there in the prior generations. So I think this facility of internet has largely contributed to the progress of the generation next, and the generation next is taking proper advantage of it.
Also, besides nowadays, black ink is being made from decomposed carbon dioxide, which is a rare sustainable innovation. Not only that, but oceans are being rejuvenated to artificial reefs, and the IITs of today are not just money driven, which is well acknowledged by the innovation of water for plastic vending machines. And the young generation of today are well aware of the fact of the depleting resources, and therefore we have seen an increasing number of solar panels and electronic vehicles over a period of time. Also, for eco-friendly flight plates are being used in flights, and bananas leaves are used for packaging purpose, which is yet another game-changing change for our environment.
The inventions of our young generation is also developing day by day, like the solar gases and the graphenes and the electrical cars and electrical vehicles are still in progress. So these things will lead us to a developed country in future.
Yes. So regenerating, renewing, and reinventing are the main mantras of today's generation. And with the ideas of budding mind, this question can only be answered by a single full stop. That is, through our actions.
And I also believe that generational progress is eternal, but we need to make sure that we are progressing in the right direction. And I personally believe that we can achieve generational progress by following certain values like perseverance, peace, and spirituality. And this is something which will lead us to greater heights and the entire generation next to restore faith in generational progress.
Besides, how can we forget about the hydrogen powered fuels and hydrogen powered vehicles, which emits least greenhouse gases? And today's generation are slowly adopting that.
We are adopting the modernized development technologies to like we are in the new generation are inventing new technologies like cars, and that reduces the use of fuels and petrols, which is benefiting the environment
as a whole, right?
Yes.
Well done, panelists. Let's give them a big round of applause. Now, we would like to proceed towards the prize distribution of all the events. Let's offer our prayer and seek blessings of the Almighty at the commencement of the results.
Lord Jesus, make our
Thanking Courtney, I request Mrs. Neera Mamgain, Senior Faculty of Social Science Department, to formally welcome all. Pauline Day. Concordia, an intra and inter-school social science event to observe Hiroshima and Nagasaki Day, Uniting for a Sustainable and Peaceful Future, is a brainchild of the principal of our school, Dr. Anita Pauline Day, and the administrative officer, Mrs. Pratyasha Mukherjee. It is a confluence of 6 events conducted in 3 streams, namely Thought Gym, Cinephilic, A New View, Rekindling Peace, Mic Drop, and Rap Battle. Our honorable principal has a firm belief that true peace is not merely the absence of war. It is more importantly the presence of justice, brotherhood, equality, truth, and harmony, and that it cannot be kept by force, but can only be achieved by understanding and treading on the path of peace. She says, walk it like you talk it. And this belief inspired her to do her research on the topic interreligious peace building through secondary education, principle and practices, and immensely helped her to find ways to prepare peaceful global citizens who realize and acknowledge that the only key to progress, growth, development, contentment, acceptance, and peaceful coexistence is peace and harmony, and to inspire them to persevere to make this world a better place to live in. Not only Team Concordia, but the entire Team Smiths has joined hands with her in her noble cause. Once again, I welcome all, and I request Anuradha ma'am to please proceed with the result declaration. Thank you so much, ma'am. I request technical team to present the views of the teachers of Social Science Department on the concept of Concordia and world peace.
As said by Martin Luther King Jr., if we are to have peace on earth, our loyalties must transcend our race, our tribe, our class, and our nation. And this means we must develop a world perspective. This is what we aim to inculcate in students at William Henry Smith Memorial School. Our principal, ma'am, Dr. Anita Pauline Day, is constantly emphasizing on the concept of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, which means the world is one family. She believes in inculcating peace values in students from a very young age through innovative ideas so that they may become better world citizens. This virtual event Concordia is one such step to do so. Every year we mark the Hiroshima and Nagasaki Day with a national level painting competition so that children from all over our nation can express their views on peace through art. This year we decided to give it the face of Concordia. Through this event, we aim to encourage the children of our nation to think about peace and discuss peace. Concordia is a platform where students can express their views on peace through any medium they choose from, like music, painting, discussions, photography, etc. Our school fraternity hopes that this event will pave the way to motivate students to develop a world perspective from a very young age and become messengers of peace. Thank you.
Irene is the goddess of peace and the season of spring. It comes from Greek term Irene. Now, when we talk about Irene, she is one of the deities of the seasons and keepers of the gates of heaven. For thousands of years, writers, poets, philosophers, and the theologians have been advocating their particular methods or technique for bringing peace among people. For me, peace comes from within. If one is at peace with self, he will be at peace with others. In real terms, peace comes from loving self and loving neighbors as oneself, accepting others as they are and forgiving them. Peace is not simply the absence of violence as is mistakenly understood. It is the cultivation of understanding, insight, and compassion combined with action. Peace does not rest in the charters and covenants alone. It lies in the hearts and minds of all the people. So let us not rest all our hopes on parchment and on papers. Let us strive to build peace, a desire for peace, a willingness to work for peace in the hearts and minds of all our people.
We in Smiths believe that the peace should be the way of life. We wanted that our students should realize the importance of peace and how it works in a beautiful, positive manner if we make it an inseparable part of our life. And that is why, under the leadership of our principal, Dr. Anita Pauline Day, we introduced Panchtattvas to our children, beautifully designed by our honorable principal, in which P stands for perseverance, A stands for correct attitude, C stands for compassion, H stands for honesty, and N that comes in the middle, it stands for nurturing values. Because values are very, very important. This is what we feel. And these values help them to understand the value and the benefits of peace. These children, when they were also given the opportunity to interact with the students of the other schools, not only of India but of abroad, on various issues which are being faced by the people of the nations globally, then they understood that yes, peace should be there and it should be a part of our life, an integral part of our life. In India, when we say that we are the example of unity in diversity, then to maintain peace, it is necessary to make our children realize to know how to celebrate the differences. And this is what is being nurtured in them so that they should become the carriers, the torch bearers of peace.
To bring growth and prosperity in a society, the path that wiser people take is of peace and harmony. Thus, W.H. Smith Memorial School never misses a chance to promote these virtues. In August 2019, we organized All India Art Exhibition in collaboration with UNESCO and Malviya Center for Peace PHU. 3,500 students from lower nursery to classes 12th participated. Approximately 419 schools across from 8 different states. Chief guest was Vice Chancellor BHU, Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar, and keynote speaker were Professor Priyanka Upadhyay, UNESCO Chair for Peace Asia, and Mr. Vijay Michihito Batra, the famous motivational speaker. Thank you.
Greetings. We at Smiths believe that teachers and students are the best group to spread the message of peace and harmony in the most effective manner. So we developed a plan to celebrate Hiroshima and Nagasaki Day. We hope that Concordia 21 will bring a common platform for everybody to collaborate and unite, igniting the young minds to be the stakeholder for the peace and harmony in the future. Thank you, everybody.
There may be different meanings and different dimensions of peace, but since we are teaching in a school, we can say that positivity of mind is the beginning of the peace. It is the generator of peace. We know that when children enter the school, they come to school, it is the duty of the teachers that they should be pacified. So at the very first instance, when they are pacified in the classes, when they are coming in nursery and primary, it is the beginning of the peace formation. And the way a teacher teaches, he behaves or she behaves with the students, the trend in which a lesson is taken, it is taught, its meanings are revealed to the children. It is the process of beginning of the peace. And peace always exists in our mind. If we are not able to change our behavior, our attitude, certainly we cannot have the peace in the minds of the people. And when it is not in the minds of the people, it cannot be in the society as well. And especially in the schools, in the educational institutions, it becomes the foremost duty of the teachers that how they can create an atmosphere in the minds of their colleagues as well as in the minds of the children to have the peace agreements among all of them forever.
It is time to realize the importance of peace if we want to continue living on this beautiful planet we call our home. And I really feel proud to say that Smith School has always stood by these lines and has always followed the ideologies of great visionaries who have dedicated their lives for peace.
I believe peace is the complete understanding and acceptance of humans, not only with others, but with themselves also. Peace is both personal, something with ourselves, while also being something big out there in the world. Peace can't exist when either of them is disturbed, and I believe finding peace is the way to connect both its elements. Peace is not the absence of chaos and problems, but it is the art to stay calm, focused, and united even in the middle of those. There are be problems and conflict, but the way we solve them defines how peaceful we are. Providing education and eliminating poverty, inequality, and exclusion are the areas to work on to achieve peace both within and outside. And that can't be done without a complete understanding and acceptance of ourselves and others.
Peace is the hope of every nation and goal of every prayer. Peace is the desire of every beating heart. When we see ourselves separate from our community and from nature, then violence arises. It is only when we understand our part in overall unity, then there is the possibility of peace on large scale. So,
Let peace prevail on earth.
I totally agree with Mahatma Gandhi when he said, "There is no way to peace, but peace is the way." We at W.H. Smith Memorial School believe in the concept of Sarva Dharma Sambhav. Everyone must be treated as being equal. Once this concept seeps into the personality of human, peace shall prevail. In our school, we prepare students to be global citizens. We teach them the lesson of humanity by incorporating several programs such as Dada Dadi Divas, where children are made to interact with old people. They are taken to orphanages, they plant trees, and in this way they learned to be humane. According to me, children must be taught only one religion, and that is the religion of humanity. For this is the path that leads to inner peace. Once you are peaceful, you will definitely create a positive aura around you and pass it on to others. Thank you.
Like charity, peace also begins at home. The seed of peace and harmony should be sown in early childhood only, so that every child grows up to be a peacemaker.
Peace brings with it so many positive emotions that it is worth aiming for in all circumstances. Hope this event promote the meaningful experience. Thank you.
Where there is discord, may we bring harmony. Where there is error, may we bring truth. Where there is doubt, may we bring faith. Where there is despair, may we bring hope. With these lines, I pray that through this event, we can impart knowledge, skills, values in purpose of shaping the future of students. Thank you. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving.
Hello, namaste. Peace begins with a smile. It is said that a smile can light up a room. So imagine what a wall of smile can do. If every day someone does something kind for someone, it will create a ripple effect. Think of when you drop a stone in a pond. It generates a small ripple at first, but after a while, the little ripple has spread throughout the entire pond. Now think of world peace. If someone apologizes to someone else and they do the same, imagine what we all can achieve. Thank you.
Peace is not the highest goal in life. It is the most fundamental requirement of life. Peace can't be achieved by force. It can only be achieved by practicing and following it in our daily life.
When you do the right thing, you get the feeling of peace and serenity associated with it. Do the right things again and again till it becomes your habit.
Hi, Shalom. Peace comes from the Latin word pax, which means tranquility, absence of war. Peace is the ultimate aim of any civilized society, and history has taught us that war is not a way to bring peace. Love and brotherhood can bring harmony among people, societies, and countries. Concordia is an effort to bring the students together, understand the value of peaceful coexistence, and establish a peaceful world.
We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter
Thank you, technical team. Champions are not the ones who always win races. Champions are the ones who get out there and try harder next time. It's time for the result declaration of all the events of Concordia. We would like to start the first event, that is Cinephilic Smartphone Movie Making Competition. This event enhances the knowledge of students and sharpens up their skills regarding techniques of films. The topic of Cinephilic for all the streams was rethinking the plastic journey in household. And the esteemed judge for this event was Mr. Purva Lama, director founder, Fairy Tale Picture. I now request Mrs. Sarah Ruth to introduce our esteemed judge for Cinephilic, Mr. Purva Lama.
A good director creates an environment which gives the actor the encouragement to fly. Mr. Purva Sharing Lama is an upcoming and promising filmmaker from Darjeeling and is also the founder, director of Fairy Tale Pictures. Fairy Tale Pictures is a film production house based in Darjeeling with a vision to deliver a whole new look to the art of filmmaking. The most famous project of Sir is The Beaten Path. It's a Nepali short film based on a short story of Mr. Gupta Pradhan, which got released in the year 2015. Sir has received many awards and honors. He got a Special Mention Jury Award at Clement Ferrin International Short Film Festival in the year 2015 and Best Short Film Peace Award at Gothenburg Independent Film Festival in the year 2014. Sir has a deep passion for conducting filmmaking workshops for children and young people. It is my honor to introduce you, sir, and on behalf of entire Smith family, I would like to extend my gratitude for being a judge of Cinephilic, the smartphone movie making competition.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I now invite Mrs. Pooja Maurya to announce the results of Cinephilic.
Thank you, ma'am. Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing. I take this opportunity to declare the result of Concordia Cinephilic, the movie making competition. In the sub-junior category, at the third position, we have Srinika Srivastav from Wells Greenhouse. At the second position, we have Anshuman Chakravarti from Miles Yellow House. At the third position, we have Aishika Kundu from 5B Rose Red House. Next, we come to the junior category. In the junior category, the third prize has been backed by Navi Verma, Rose Red House. Second position has been backed by Shrishti Verma, Hope House, Hope, that is Blue House. Then at the third position, at the first position, we have Samriddhi Sankrit from Wells Greenhouse. From the senior category, we have Manvendra Singh, who has bagged the third prize from Wells Greenhouse. Ashka Sarkar has bagged the second prize from Rose Red House. And Suhani Jadwani has stood the winner with the first prize from Wells Greenhouse. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and congratulations to all the winners. A new view photography competition using photography to explore social issues was conducted to highlight and examine the unique perspective of contestants in the two streams. Topic for junior group classes 7 and 8 was disappearing technologies. Topic for senior group classes 9 to 12 was working women. I now request Mrs. Manisha Singh to introduce our respected judge for a new view, Mr. Binay Rawal.
Photography is the only language that can be understood anywhere in the world.
I am profoundly gratified to take this opportunity to introduce our Honorable Judge, Mr. Bimal Kumar Rawal, a renowned photographer as an eminent judge of today's event. Basically, Sir is from Gujarat, but born and brought in West Bengal. Sir has achieved diploma in photography in the year 1920 and bachelor's degree in commerce in 1983. Sir converted his hobby into profession and started working in this field from the year 1980. Sir has teaching experience as guest lecturer in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Banaras Hindu University for 3 years. Sir is the life member of India International Photographic Council, New Delhi, Federation of Indian Photography, Patna and Kolkata, Photopatal Varanasi and Intech Varanasi chapter. Sir is the president of Lala Deen Dayal Photo Art Society, and Sir is honored as a member of Photographic Society of America. Sir was awarded with 61 international awards, including 20 gold medals by Photographic Society of America, International Federation of Photographic Art, France, Belgium, Lucknow Camera Club, Federation of Indian Photography, and various clubs. At present, Sir is teaching photography as a guest faculty at SMS Institute of Fashion and Design. It is my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of entire Smith family. Welcome you, sir, once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I now request Mrs. Pooja Maurya to announce the results of a new view photography competition.
Thank you, ma'am. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into visible. I am once again here to announce the inter-house result of a new view of photography competition. The third position of a new view has been bagged by Vaishnavi Verma from Rose Red House. Second position has been bagged by Arna Miles Yellow House. And the first position has been bagged by Kaustubh Gupta 7B Blue House. From the senior category, we have third position bagged by Pragati Singh from Wells Greenhouse. Second position has been bagged by Aditi Chakravarti, Rose Red House. And the first position has been bagged by Anushka Srivastav from Miles Yellow House. Congratulations, students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and the heartiest congratulations to all the winners. Only music has power to prevail peace on earth, because music has no caste, no bar. Mic Drop Rap Battle is a solo rap singing competition. The topic for stream 1, classes 5 and 6 was Unity is Strength. For stream 2, classes 7 and 8 was Communal Harmony. And topic for stream 3, classes 9 to 12, Quest for Unity. I now request Ms. Inga Liu to give brief introduction of our Honorable Judge for Mic Drop Rap Battle, Dr. Sucharita Gupta.
Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. With this line, I would like to introduce Judge of Event Mic Drop Rap Battle, Dr. Sucharita Gupta, fondly known as the Nightingale of Smith School, an Indian classical and semi-classical vocalist. Ma'am was born and brought up in a Bengali family in Assam, and in born love for music. Her learning of classical music started under the guidance of Padma Shri Siddheshwari Devi Ji, daughter of Savita Devi Ji. Ma'am has received many degrees in music like Sangeet Prabhakar, Sangeet Vishrat, Sangeet Praveen, and Sangeet Bhaskar. She has received several awards at district and state level. We are blessed to have you, ma'am, with us. On behalf of Smith's family, we welcome you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I now invite Mr. Vinay Prakash Singh, who is coordinator of Concordia, to announce the results of mic drop battle, rap battle.
A stone is broken by the last stroke of a hammer. This does not mean that the first stroke is useless. Success is the result of continuous efforts. Mic drop. Mic drop rap battle category from stream 1 in sub-junior group. The second position is bagged by House Shreya Srivastava. The first position is bagged by Hope Brewhouse from stream 1 Pankuri Nagar. And in the same category, mic drop rap battle, the first position is bagged by Wells Greenhouse Anaya Srivastava. Now comes to junior category. The third position is bagged by Rose Red House Sona Srivastava. Second position is bagged by Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, and congratulations to all the winners. The aim of Cartoonathon, a cartoon painting competition, was to engage children in creative observation and critical expression of what they observe around them. It allows complete self-expression and supports students' creativity and innovative ideas expressed through cartoons. I now request Mrs. Sarah Root to give brief introduction of our respected judge for Cartoonathon, Dr. Sanjay Singh.
Art is something that makes you breathe with a different kind of happiness. I feel privileged to introduce Dr. Sanjay Singh, a renowned freelancer, painter, and sculptor of Varanasi. Sir has completed his bachelor's, master's, and PhD in Fine Arts and Creative Painting from Faculty of Visual Arts, Banaras Hindu University. Sir has exhibited his paintings individually as well as in group exhibitions. Sir's individual exhibitions were held in the year 1999 at Kamal Nayan Bajaj Art Gallery, Mumbai. In 2008 at Palette Art Gallery, Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Sir's group exhibitions were held in the year 1996 at All India Art Exhibitions of Art Lalit Kala Academy, Lucknow. In 2008 at Group Show, Palette Art Gallery, Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and many more. Sir has conducted many workshops and symposiums, art workshop at Ram Chhat Par, Shilp Nyas, Varanasi in the year 2008. National Stone Sculpture Symposium at Kava Government of Karnataka, Mysore University, to name a few. Sir's famous collections are at UP Lalita Kala Academy, Lucknow, Kava University, Mysore, and also at Nagpur, Bangalore, Mumbai, Varanasi, Australia, England, Spain, and Sweden. Sir, we are honored to have you as the esteemed judge of Cartoonathon.
Thank you, ma'am. I now invite Mrs. Pooja Maurya to announce the results of Cartoonathon.
Thank you, ma'am. Productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. With this, I would like to announce the result of Cartoonathon sub-junior category. At the third position, we have Adrika Srivastav from Miles House, Yellow House. At the second position, we have Adrika Singh from Wells Greenhouse. And at the first position, we have Janvi Seth from Rose Red House. In the category of junior, we have Angel Verma at the third place, who is in Wells House. Then we have Kshitij Kesri, who has bagged the second position from Wells Greenhouse. And at the first position, we have Vedant Shankar from Hope Blue House. In the senior category, the third position has been bagged by Ravisha Singh from Wells Greenhouse. Second position has been bagged by Sonakshi Singh, Wells Greenhouse. And the first position has been bagged by Akhand Pratap Singh, Wells Greenhouse. Congratulations, students.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Rekindling Peace, a creative writing competition, part of Concordia, was conducted with the aim to help the children to pen down their ideas and thoughts beautifully on paper, build their vocabulary, and to develop emotion and intellectual skills. The creative writing competition was divided into 3 streams. Stream 1 for classes 5 and 6, and the topic was Where the Mind is Without Fear. Stream 2 for classes 7 and 8, and the topic was Importance of Recycling and Reusing. Stream 3, classes 9 to 12, and the topic was Mind Your Language in Public. Now I invite Mrs. Manisha to introduce our eminent judge, Dr. Supriya Singh.
It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. We feel exceptionally blessed and fortunate to introduce Dr. Supriya Singh as an honorable judge. Ma'am is a student of English literature committed to synchronize theory with pragmatic end of education. Ma'am went on to pursue higher education from the seat of learning, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. She broadened her perceptive mind and completed her master's and Doctor of Philosophy in English literature. She has been inclined towards research and academic engagements and associated with one of the prestigious college, Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, affiliated to Banaras Hindu University as her place of work. What makes her achievement more remarkable is her 2 books, out of which one is a collection of short stories, Cheers to Life, that has an international recognition, and other one is an edited book titled Inculcation of Sustainable Development Through Higher Education. She has also been invited as resource person in various seminars, conferences, workshops, and as guest lecturer. Ma'am has around 7 research papers in her name and 4 chapters in books of national and international recognition. Ma'am has attended and presented papers in more than 30 seminars and conferences of national and international repute. Ma'am has also acted as judge in various events of schools and colleges. At present, Ma'am is a permanent teaching faculty in Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Varanasi. Ma'am strongly believes that teaching is a very noble profession that shapes the character, caliber, and future of an individual. If the people remember someone as a good teacher, that will be the biggest honor for that person. We welcome you, ma'am, once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's time for the result declaration of Rekindling Peace. I now request Coordinator of Concordia, Mr. Vinay Prakash Singh, to announce the results of all the 3 streams.
It is true that every effort is not converted into success, but it is equally true that success does not come without effort. In the Rekindling Peace, now I am going to announce the result, but in the sub-junior category, the 3rd position is bagged by Rose Red House, Sona Srivastav. In the on second position, it is secured by Anjali Agrawal from Wells Greenhouse, and the first position is bagged by Wells Greenhouse, Savita Singh. Now I am coming to junior category. In junior category, the third position is bagged by Mice Yellow House, Naman Sharma. The second position is secured by House, Rajshri Gupta, and the first position is bagged by Wells Green House, Abhijay Srivastav. Now, into the senior category, the third position is bagged by Mice Yellow House, Vipashina Upadhyay. The second position is secured by Wells Greenhouse, Suhani Jadwani, and the first position is secured by Sanskriti Soni, Wells Greenhouse. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, and congratulations to all the winners. I now request Mrs. Deepa Stevens to introduce our eminent judge, Dr. Yogita Beri, Department of Economics, Vasanta College for Women, Varanasi.
Economics is not about goods and services. It is about human choice and action. By these meaningful words of Ludwig von Mises, I take this opportunity to welcome and introduce our judge, Dr. Yogita Beri, Assistant Professor of Economics, Vasanta College for Women, Rajghat, Varanasi. Ma'am was born about and brought up in Varanasi and did her post-graduation in economics from BHU and also completed her PhD in service tax in India from BHU. Ma'am has a teaching experience of 10 years with specialization in public finance in international economics. She is an accomplished writer of 3 books and has 23 papers published under her name. She has been conferred with Nation Builder Award by Rotary Club, Varanasi South. Ma'am is a life member of Indian Society of Labour Economics and life member Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand Economics Association and core committee member of Purvanchal Economics Association. Besides participating in 15 international seminars and 16 national seminars, ma'am has attended several conferences, workshops, and has conducted numerous guest lectures in prestigious universities all over the world. Thus, it would be appropriate to say that she is a woman of intellectual superiority. We are honored to have you, ma'am, amongst us as judge. And once again, I take this opportunity to welcome you on behalf of the entire Smith family.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I now invite Ms. Inga Luke to give a brief introduction of Mr. Vimal Kumar Seth, Senior Faculty of Commerce, Department, W.H. Smith Memorial School.
I would like to start with the famous quote said by Harold B. Lee. Stay true in the dark and humble in the spotlight. I am extremely overjoyed to introduce our judge, Mr. Vimal Kumar Seth, who was born in a family of bank officer in the city of Nawab, Lucknow. Sir received his honors and post-graduation degree in commerce from Banaras Hindu University. Sir has completed his PGDBM from IGNOU. He has 23 years of teaching experience at the senior secondary level. Sir has attended several workshops at national level. His area of keen interest including analysis of economics, affairs, history and culture and spiritual science. On behalf of Smith's family, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to invite Mrs. Deepa Stevens to introduce our Honorable Judge, Dr. Vibha Joshi.
The basis of world peace is the teaching which runs through almost all the great religions of the world. Love thy neighbor as thyself. With this beautiful line, I am profoundly delighted to take this opportunity to introduce our Honorable Judge, Professor Vibha Joshi. Professor Vibha Joshi is Associate Professor of Economics and Director of J. Krishnamurti Study Center at Vasanta College for Women. Admitted to the privileges of Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. She has more than 22 years of teaching experience and her PhD is on the theme Employment Pattern of Working Women in Port Blair Town. Professor Joshi has been UGC visiting fellow to Nagpur Vidyapeeth in 2015 and visiting Professor Mahamukut Buddhist University, Bangkok, Thailand in 2000. Professor Joshi specialization in microeconomics with a keen interest in research methodology. She has presented various papers in national and international seminars, conferences, and symposia. She has edited books Towards a New Dawn, Reinvigorated Human Beings and Post-Pandemic World. She was awarded World Vision Fellowship for the 36th World Congress of the International Institute of Social Science, Beijing, China in 2014 and awarded Vishisht Siksha Samman on Teachers' Day 2015 in an educational function. Social Science Association conferred on her the award of Golden Jubilee Year Honorary Fellowship in the All Indian Conference of the Indian Social Science Association held at BHU. Vagyog Chetna Peetham International Institute conferred on her Vagyog Nari Pratibha Samman to 2020 to contribute to education and social work. Ma'am is also associated with leading professional association and committees as a member and delivering lectures and talks as a resource person in various workshops, seminars organized by different colleges, universities of the country. I, on behalf of the entire Smith family, welcome you, ma'am, once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I now invite Coordinator of Concordia, Mr. Vinay Prakash Singh, to announce the results of all the streams of panel discussion.
Success represents the 1% of your work, which results from the 99% that is called failure. In thought gym, panel discussion. In sub-junior category, the third position is backed by Red House, A.C. Pandey. The second position is secured by Wells Greenhouse, Aradhya Pandey. And in the sub-junior category, first position is secured by Miles Yellow House, Swastika Sivi. Now comes to the second category, junior. The third position is once again backed by Hope Blue House, Ipsita Singh. Second position is secured by Rose Red House, Diptansi. And the first position is secured by Wells Greenhouse, Abhijay Srivastav. Now in senior category, The third position is bagged by Hope Blue House Sabi Fatima. Second position is secured by Rose Red House Gauri Dhannani. And the first position is secured by Wells Greenhouse Khyati Pandey. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and congratulations to all the winners. I now invite a source of inspiration and motivation for Team Concordia, the person who gave valuable contribution in the introduction and successful conduction of Concordia, our Administrative Officer, Mrs. Pratyasha Mary Mukherjee, to declare the overall champion. Ma'am.
A very good evening to everyone present over here who is a part of our virtual event this evening. Today's event is special because after many years, we are having a inter-house event, and having it after so many years, it is a great fun in itself. So I have been given this privilege of announcing the overall champions, and I know it has been kept a surprise for all the houses, but yes, we do have an overall champion for this event. And I'll start backwards. I will announce all the 4 houses position wise. So at the 4th position, we have Yellow House. At the 3rd position, we have Blue House. At the 2nd position, we have Red House. And the overall champions for this event is Green House with 157 points, Wells House. So a big congratulations to the entire greenhouse. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I now invite Coordinator of Concordia, Mrs. Shubha Kaur, to propose vote of thanks.
A very good evening. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Especially deep talks with people with different perspective than us is so awesome that while we are discussing the important topics instead of arguing with the aim of progress, not just victory. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Team Concordia. First of all, I'd like to thank Almighty God for showering His blessings. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed panel of jury members of right panel discussion, third Jim, Dr. Vibha Joshi, Dr. Yogita Berry, Mr. Vimal Kumar Seth for sparing their precious time and motivating our panelists. Sincere gratitude to our judges, Mr. Puva Lamba for Cineplex smartphone movie making competition, Mr. Binay Rahul for a new view using photography to explore social issues, Dr. Sanjay Singh for Cartoonathon cartoon making competition, Dr. Supriya Singh for rekindling peace, that was the creative writing competition, and Dr. Sucharita Gupta for mic drop rap battle. We are thankful to our respective principal ma'am, Dr. Anita Polende for mentorship and guidance at every step, and to our manager, sir, Mr. Pradeep Kumar Dey for his unconditional support and motivation. Our dynamic administrative officer, Mrs. Pratyasha Mukherjee, who envisioned the concept of Concordia, the virtual event for a peaceful and sustainable future, and to our coordinator, Mrs. Sangeeta Nayak, for her support. I'm also grateful to the participants for giving their best and to their parents for constant support and involvement. I feel deep sense of appreciation for the entire teaching and non-teaching fraternity of W.S. Smith Memorial. A big thank you for the encouragement and enormous cooperation. My heartfelt thanks to our tech experts, Mr. Rajan Pandey, Mr. Rahul Mishra, Mr. Chandan Seth, and Mr. Yogesh Chandel. You were a great support. Last but not the least, we are grateful to our senior supervisor, Mr. Shubhajit Mukherjee, Mr. Shailesh, and their team of supporting staff for their enormous cooperation in the organization of the event. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. With these words, once again, I thank everyone and wish you all a great evening ahead. Thank you very much.